their letters. But I hit what was available to me, and then it would say not correct.
Another thing is that if when I give specific, let's say, vocabulary list with pictures, and I want the kids to have almost like the exact one, because there's some specific, for example, for the word tour or whatever, and I wanted to have my picture that I gave the kid, I can't. It's a pain.
If you want to do that, then I think you also have to pay. If you want to upload your own class, then you have to pay.
In terms of pictures, you can only access without paying those pictures that they have in their program, right?
If you want to upload your own, then you have to pay. So again, you need to decide if does your school have a budget for educational?
It's only $35.
It's only what?
$35 per teacher.
Right. Okay. So go for it. You know, if it's useful for you, use it a lot. You want your own pictures, so so go for it. It's not a lot of money. This was actually designed by a 17-year-old Quizlet.
Wow.
Yeah. Yes. Welcome back, Shawnee. I'm sorry you had some problems. Is there anything else you want to say about Quizlet? That's okay. It happens. Glad I'm here.
Exactly.
Okay. So those are our 2 tools for this week. Ways to differentiate for VoiceThread. If you have strong students, weaker students. So if you're for VoiceThread or Wiser, one way is to say record between 10 to 30 seconds of a response. And your strong students will take the 30 and your weaker students will take the 10, but at least you're not embarrassing anyone, you're giving flexibility, you're giving everyone a push to work for their hardest. What do you think? What other ways can we offer guidelines in terms of using recording tools for differentiation?
Well, I think that maybe not using recording tools, but what I liked is that for some students, you might want to use the option of typing or recording, because students are really shy or terribly shy, would be more comfortable. I like that says could give them the option.
Sure, and you can even ask a stronger student to record what the weaker student wrote,
right?
And that way he feels empowered.
Mm-hmm. Or yeah.
Another option, thank you for that. Another option would be if you have a list of vocabulary words and you're saying, well, here's recording, here are the vocabulary words, use between 5 and 10. The stronger students will take the 10. The weakers will take the 5. And again, you're offering a push. And you can do a point system, you get 20 points for every word, and you get to cash in your points at the end of the month, whatever it is you want to do. So that's another option. Any other ideas that you have?
Well, I'm writing.
I'm sorry?
I'm writing the ideas.
Oh, you're chatting?
I'm writing them.
Writing them. Okay, that's what she said. Okay, and then I put in another one, which I think we've talked about in Google Forms before, is you can ask them to assess themselves when they record. Ask them to, did I read with understanding? Did I pronounce each word correctly? Because if your answer is no, so you're going to have to do it again. So you can give them a choice of, well, make sure you get at least one of those correct in your recording. And again, the stronger students can take both of those questions. The weaker ones, today we're only focusing on understanding, on dramatization. Today we're only focusing on correct pronunciation. Tomorrow we're going to do both. So you can scaffold it.
How do they know if they pronounced it correctly?
What does everyone think?
They listen to themselves.
Yeah, but if they're not real familiar with the language, or especially if we're having them read something,
They listen to a sample that you have made first.
So we would have to model that first.
Any recording you ask your student to do, I 100% back it up with a sample. It doesn't have to be the exact same thing, or maybe it is for a beginning student, but for a slightly more advanced student, give them a sample. Like what Shani did, Ani ohev chala udvash, ani ohev tapuach udvash. So they can go back and hear that. And if they say tapach udvash, oh, you go back and listen to that again. Did she say tapach or did she say something else? So definitely a sample. And even in VoiceThread, you have the slides in the middle. So you can put the words in there if you want the words as well.
Right, but I'm talking about in first grade,
right.
It's sort of the other way. They're more likely to recognize it auditorily, but not necessarily recognize it when it's written.
So through samples, for sure. And then you can pair them up. Now everyone go into a corner. Hopefully you have a big room. Everybody listen to someone else's, give some feedback. You got 3 words correct and 1 word incorrect. And there's peer support. And maybe you can make it fun. It's not a way of being humiliated. It's a way of learning and fun. And we all learn through mistakes. That's how we learn. Okay, we did that. So our time, sadly, is almost at an end. I wanted to kind of reflect on everything we've done. So how do online tools help us as students, as teachers, as parents? So if we could go around, if you could answer at least one of what do you think? This is reflecting, and here clearly, this is a real locker of a real student in New Jersey in a real school. And I was sad to see this locker. And of course, they have computers in this school as well. And his laptop was lying on the floor next to his locker. So my response would be, tools help us organize things. We have Wisers, we have voice threads. We don't have this locker. What do you think?
It helps when you want to do work in station to have, for example, the Quizlet, to put there that the kids just focus on that and doesn't need the teacher help, so I can focus on other kids and give the support or advance kids.
So that's more differentiated instruction. You have a student who is capable of working on his own in a corner. I can now work with a student who needs my help.
In trying to do something like that, though, the Quizlet takes seconds. How much do we have to create, technologically to keep him busy for 10, 15 minutes while we're working with a kid who needs 10 or 15 minutes?
Here comes the guilt of the teacher. I think like if I want to have the lesson the way I want to have the lesson, I need to prepare 10 hours for one lesson. Like 5 hours for one lesson. That it's impossible. And the more I learn, the more guilt I have.
What I love about these tools, it takes all the technology, all the internet, all the things that that many of our teachers are using, like YouTube clips, like video, like slides, and it really makes it much more interactive. There's much more input from the student by either, and the student has to really engage into it, and it just puts it on a higher plane, a higher level. It takes it out of that aesthety, and it's does require a bit more work for the teacher, but once you have it done, it's just a worksheet done. It's there, and it's a tool in your toolbox. But it's using the modalities, the media that the kids are the most comfortable with, the most familiar with, and so they're engaged like from the start. You don't have to motivate them; they're there.
Absolutely. You're meeting them where they're at. You're showing them that we can be cool and teach Jewish studies all at the same time, myself excluded. My children have told me many times I am not cool and never will be.
Right.
But you are not mothers to my children, so you can be cool. And Flo, to address your question, and please, if anyone else has other ideas as well, when you come into a classroom, I know that all of you teachers don't come in with just one thing in hand, right? You have a whole bunch of things. You have your Wiser and your Edpuzzle and your voice thread and maybe even a tool that's not an educational technology tool. Don't tell anyone I said that, right? So you have these in the classroom, and the child finished the Quizlet. Well, I'm sure, Flo, I do to do next.
Well, the Quizlet is really nice for engaging the entire class, because if you use Quizlet as a game and you can put it on the board, they're really, really engaged and they think they're playing a game, but in reality, they're really learning. Because, for example, I was trying to find my Quizlet. For some reason, I can't find it. But last year, I used Quizlet for every class, and it was almost a reward on Fridays for good behavior during the week. They wanted to play so much. I mean, it's a lot of work, but you don't play it only once, because I would put 36, 40 questions with pictures. And then they would play it until they knew it. So, for example, depending on the level of the class, if it's a low class, you can do a vocabulary game. And what you do, it's really essentially a multiple option question. So you put 4 pictures and you put 1 picture and you put 4 options, and only one is correct. And so they press whatever they think is the correct number. And the beauty about Quizlet is you have the option to either display the points after every question or at the end. But each of them know if they answered correctly or incorrectly right away. They get instant feedback. And they're so excited about it. It doesn't work if the kids are too competitive. So you always have to tell them ahead of time that we're going to play, but if it turns ugly and it's too competitive, it's the last time we play. Because they do get very excited. But it's nice because, the more they do it, the more they learn. It could be vocabulary. It could be questions about a text that you read. It could be so many different things. It's really, I really like Quizlet a lot.
Well, yeah, well, if you make 30, 40 questions, clearly it will take you hours. But you saw this one that we just did. It was called Chagim. How long did that take?
Right, but it has 3 terms, so it doesn't take them very long. Right. I understand. It depends what you're looking for,
Yeah.
of course.
If I would add another 5 terms, it still wouldn't take me so long. If you had 30, 40, yeah.
Right, but the nice thing about it also, let's say Talam, you are doing Talam Daled and you're doing a certain book. You can create your own, and then you can also put Talam Daled, and then you can put the name of the book, and you can be sure that a lot of other teachers did it and shared it. And the nice thing about it is that you have all these options. You can do multiple choices, or you can do matches, or you can play with it on the side, or you can even do it as an exam. But instead of doing it as an exam, you can just print it for them. And then, the nice thing about it is that when they do it, they can do it in differentiation. So the kids that have a really hard time can do the multiple choices, and the kids that are on a higher level can actually do the writing part.
Wow, that's
so
really...
if you're really going to Quizlet and look at all the options, it's very clever. It's got a lot of options.
Okay.
Is this Dorit who's speaking?
Yes.
Dorit? So I have a question. I made a Quizlet, and I went to play the gravity game, where they show you, the vocabulary, and you have to type it in. I can't type in Hebrew that fast. You have students, even 4th grade, who can just do that.
What do you mean? It depends what you want to do. I mean, you don't have to, you only need to type if you're taking the exam, the part of supposedly the games where you play by yourself.
Right, the gravity game. That's
right. If you can. Right.
Now, what I did is I had their little keyboard came up, and I'm trying.
Right. Yeah. So if they can't do it, then those kids can do it. Yeah. Then they have to play something else.
Yeah. It also let you set the gravity game. It lets you set it.
I tried that.
It didn't help.
No.
So what you can do is you can take all the words from the game and teach them the words ahead of time, and then maybe once they're more familiar with the words, it'll be easier for them.
I mean, again, I was very familiar with the words. I made up the test, and I could not do that particular test. Probably a function of my age more than anything else. At the other end of the continuum from my 1st grade student.
Johnny, do you have the form by any chance? Johnny?
Yes.
You have the form? Oh. So thank you for your feedback. One other mention I want to say about using EdTech tools is that it tears down classroom walls, which means the great video that Flo showed us and the songs that you mentioned, EdTech opens up a whole world of culture in Israel and other cultures and things we can learn about. And the interactive elements of using these tools also tears down classroom walls. Go ahead, please.
One of the things that I think is nice, again, for Kitala, but really throughout, is, depending on the school we work in, this can now be sent home, and their parents can see it, the kids can see it, they can hear Hebrew at home, they can hear it, the parents who pay tuition in the day school can feel like, oh, look, my kid is listening to a Hebrew song, and come and listen, mommy, whatever it is, look at this. And I think that makes it accessible to the home.
Absolutely. That's another way to tear down a classroom wall. We want our parents involved and happy, for sure. So just in reflection, we do have a reflection form. We ask you to give us some feedback on how you enjoyed the course, both positives and challenges. We get a lot of great advice from our participants. Okay, so I will put that in. So we will send that to you. I'll put it in the chat box in a second. You can get yes. And one of the questions on the feedback form is something called Jets App. Jets App is a WhatsApp group that we offer for free. We currently have 101 educators from all over the world on Jets App. And most of them, the majority of them, have taken our courses. And then we show, you can ask anything, anytime. Does anybody have a song about Rosh Hashanah that I can use, or a curriculum about here, or how do I add Nikud and Quizlet, things like that. I think that actually was a question before, and it's free. And we offer that to you as a follow-up service. So we're happy if you would like to join that. I'm going to put that in the chat box. And then if you have any other questions or comments, then please.
Thank you so much. I have to run, I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. I'm going to put it in the chat box here. I just have the link, 1 second. And I'll put it in the chat box. We'll also send it out a follow-up email to everyone. Here it is. There we go. Thank you. What's, I hope that's it. Yes. You do need WhatsApp you need a smartphone and you need WhatsApp to be part of JetSApp. So if you don't yet have that, let us know when you get it. But if you do have it, then just add you'll see the question on the form, just put in your phone number and we will add you.
That's good. All right.
The reflection form is also on the haiku. I can send you guys a link to it in the follow-up email, as well as a place to put in your samples of Quizlet and VoiceThread.
Thank
Sure.
you.
Yeah, just if you do join JetSApp, which I hope you all do, it does ding 24/6 because there are people all over the world on it. We have educators in Amsterdam and Switzerland, of course, Israel, Canada, Australia. So make sure you mute it. If you don't know how to do that, we'll send instructions. You just press the 3 dots on the corner and it says mute. And then you'll still see the messages, but you won't hear it.
All right. Goodbye. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you to everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great to meet you all.
Madar,
Yes.
Bye-bye.
is a JetSApp relevant for like first grade teachers? I mean, the kind of questions I'm going to ask are always not the kind of questions that
There are teachers for all ages, and you ask the questions that are appropriate for you. Are there questions about older students as well? Yes, there are.
right.
I don't have one per.
I mean, I love seeing what everyone is doing, and it's very inspiring.
So that's why I recommend to mute it and then read it when you like and post when you like. It's something that we have a lot of lurkers, people who just are quiet, and then when you want to ask a question, you ask a question. There were some very interesting conversations going on the past few days. Someone posted from Seattle, we're going on a boat trip with our students, and the head of school wants to make it Jewish content. Any ideas? Someone from Chicago talk about Noach and the Mabul. I wrote about Agunot. Someone else wrote about different halachot of sailing and chagim, and what if you're on a boat during chagim. It was fascinating, and you had 5 different teachers from all over the place, everyone piping in, and the guy's like, this is fantastic, I have my whole curriculum. I mean, he knows how to make a curriculum, but he just needed the topic. So he was thrilled. Another teacher wrote from Chicago, our theme for this year is Israel at 70. Israel's 70th birthday. We're making it interdisciplinary across all ages, all grade levels. Ideas. And someone else said, oh, we're going to do that too. Thank you for writing that. So that's not necessarily, so that does apply to you. And it's something you can talk about to colleagues at your school and say, oh, here are some ideas and here's what we can do, and etc.
All right. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Can I tell you a very personal thing?
Please.
So after last week's session, where I was slightly overwhelmed with the ed, I couldn't access the ed puzzle and everything, and wasn't working. Finally, I got it to work, whatever it was. Class was over, and I look at the top of my my computer screen, and there are all these little tabs with the Shiva Tamini video that you are posting the ed puzzle. And when the class asked me to look at one of the 2 choices, I chose the other one, whatever we just found. And then all of a sudden, I click this one now, and I look at it, and I see how it starts, and I was thinking, what's going on? And I'm getting some of the Hebrew and everything like that. And then I see you, and then I see your daughter, and then I see Stan. And then I go, I know this. I remember when you were creating it, Stan, we had been in Israel, we had visited with Stan, and I was so excited. So I sent it, everybody in my family had to know about this. I haven't had a chance to show everybody. But I would say, come look at this, and I wouldn't tell them what it's about. And then all of a sudden, Stan's there, and they're all going, my second son, I had him come over because your daughter reminds me of my granddaughter, who's his oldest daughter, just very understated and cool, and I was like there. And but my son works in instructional design. And I thought, and of course, he remembers, Stan knows him from, he was a little boy. So I had him come over, Thursday night, 10, 11 o'clock. I'd say, you have 4 minutes and 30 seconds to come over, and he comes over and he sees it. And then the next day, he sent me a video. I sent me an email and said, Ima, what was the technology that you showed me last night? Because he was interested just because they use a lot of, they're creative. And my son started in the field and he's instructional design. And I said, tell me again what you do. And now I see the thing of, this is what he does. So it was a very exciting personal moment, and I just love what Stan said about your creative video. I've created a dish, you know, it's a taste of Eretz Yisrael, that is what resonates with me. So thank you so much. This has really been wonderful. And certainly started me, you know, as I said, it's given me the opportunity, and I think it's good that we model it for the kids. Alyssa and I did meet this week, and she said there's certain things where she'll say to them, you can do this better than I, and she's our tech person in the middle school. So thank you so very much. You should continue to have some.
Oh man, thank you very much. Well, Stan was actually the producer of that video. He kind of designed the whole layout, and his son-in-law is our videographer. So
Yeah.
big,
the quality was really nice.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. It was very exciting moment.
I'm glad. I'll pass it on.
All right. All the best. Take care. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for the insight.
Bye.
And Shani, thank you, because you have been really very, very supportive, and we appreciate that. Thanks so much. Take care.
Thank you.
And Shana Tova.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.